Learn how to start a business in your community with Launch Local Podcast, full of know-how and inspiration from successful small business owners, including your host, Amber Artemis. Hey, Amber Artemis here, and today we are continuing our discussion about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of starting a local business. Today we are hitting on the why, which really, in my opinion, could have been the first one since it's probably the most important. There's actually a book called Start With Why and a whole philosophy around leading with your purpose for doing something and as a way to motivate and inspire others, your customers, and of course yourself, and keep you going when times get tough. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand your why. It's your core motivation for starting your local business. So I think, when you're talking about why, you're really getting at what is your mission and what is your vision. And those are honestly just fancy ways of explaining or answering the question why. So your mission is how you do, what you do, and why you do it. And your vision is the impact that you would like to have in the world by doing your mission. So your mission is what you do, how you do it, and why. And your vision is the impact you would like to have in the community and beyond by doing the work, by doing your mission. And there are two sides of this coin, I believe. There's your personal why, your personal mission and vision, and then there's your professional, your business mission and vision. And I think the personal is more important than the professional, and that the professional should complement the personal. So you have to begin with why for you, because it all boils down, your business all boils down to you continuing to show up day in and day out, year after year, building this thing, this machine, this engine that needs to keep churning. And if you are not in touch with the why, with your core motivation, you're just not going to succeed. You're going to burn out, you're going to give up, and it's crucial. So you have to understand what is your personal core motivation, and then your professional motivation needs to complement that. Let's begin with our personal motivations for starting a local business. So with all the hype on the internet about, working from home and starting things online, I think, you have to be a person that wants to show up somehow in your community. Now, that doesn't mean you can't work from home, as in you have a home-based office or, you're bringing clients to your property possibly, but you have to want to show up in your community, in your region or area, to do something, to deliver something for people. And so that has to be part of one of your core motives. I think, at the heart of it is you have to want to connect with people personally in some fashion. Otherwise, it's not for you. Local business is not for you. You should start an online business where you have clients all over the world and you meet them where they're at. Or you should keep working for somebody else, maybe. But yeah, so at its core, starting a local business is motivated by wanting to show up in your community in some fashion. And it's also usually motivated by the desire for a flexible lifestyle, to be your own boss, which can be a double-edged sword because, with great power comes great responsibility. And when you're your own boss, you have to put out all the fires. You're responsible for everything. Sometimes that means being responsible for other people and the job that they do because your name's on it. The work that they're doing is part of your reputation. It's an extension of your reputation. So being the boss sometimes isn't all it's cracked up to be. It can be difficult. You'll hear a lot more from me about some mindset tips to keep you going, to fill your soul as the boss. and to see this as an opportunity to step into a leadership role in your community and to do something that you'll truly be proud of. So, your why often involves showing up in person to be a part of a community, to deliver a service or a product, to meet a need. You have to be meeting a need. There has to be a need for what you're doing. And if there's not, you're not going to get customers. So the why that you answer has to be about meeting a need for a community or for individuals within that community. But yeah, that's your professional. Whoopsie, I'm getting a little ahead. Maybe I'll punch that in, boop, boop, in post for the professional why. So getting back to your personal why, maybe you want a flexible schedule. You want to be your own boss. You, at the end of the day, want to have ownership of something. You're working for yourself. You're building your own asset. So what that means is you're taking your time and energy and putting it into your own cup, not somebody else's cup. Like when you go to work for somebody else, you're helping them with their business. And that's okay, that's great. But having your own business, you're building your own asset that ideally someday you can sell to somebody else if you're setting this up that way and not just giving yourself a job. Or if your business is not built that way, when you're done working, you're going to be done working, but you've had the benefit of creating your own system for earning your income. You've had all that flexibility and control and hopefully passion for doing the thing that you love to do over those years. So that brings us to my next why. Passion. Hopefully you're feeling fueled by what you're doing. You have a passion and an interest in what you're doing. Piques your interest, that there is no end of learning about it that you will have. You just keep wanting more and more and more. You want to know more about this, and you feel good about it because you know you're good at it. And you've got that level of expertise that feels really good because you know what you're doing. And at the end of the day, it's so valuable. Your personal why could involve motivations that are all about the lifestyle and the personal goals that you can achieve through owning a local business. Now, your professional why hopefully involves the passion that you share for the work that you're doing. So the service or product that you're providing, hopefully you're striving to be the best at it, to provide some sort of unique angle, some sort of unique contribution to the market with the thing that you're doing. I encourage you to sit down and make a list of how what you're doing is going to be done differently than everybody else around you. Take your time with that because those are going to be the talking points that are going to form the foundation of your marketing messages. And the story of your business will be built upon that. What are you doing to set yourself apart? And it's not that hard. I mean, some people get very pessimistic and think everything's been done already. You can definitely take inspiration from other places and other service providers, but you're going to do it in your own unique way. And you have to find the things that set you apart to tell your story that are going to be part of your why. Why are you doing this? Why? And people want to know. I think it's a helpful exercise often to just say, so what? After you say something. So what? So what? So what? It's like an annoying little kid just saying, why? But really, so what? You need to be able to answer like, well, because this is why it matters. I'm doing this differently. And a very key concept, that is often included in people's why is striving for excellence, giving people the best of some experience. And it's important that that be a part of your why. I mean, we're not striving for mediocrity here. And, if you're not trying to be the best at what you do, again, what are you doing? You're probably not going to make it. I can't see being passionate without striving for excellence. So that has to be part of your why. if you want to have any sort of passion about the work you're doing, and convey that to your customers and the community that you're serving. Like, because otherwise, why should they care? So I've talked along the way in this series about the challenges that you will certainly face as a local business owner. And your why is what's going to get you through those tough times, economic or otherwise. It's going to remind you of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and carry you through. It really needs to be your guide star. There will be no end of opportunities for you in some respects. There's going to be people inviting you to do things. Maybe there'll be new phenomenon on the market, new technology, new tools, new services, whatever it is, new trends. Things will crop up along the way, and you have to decide whether or not you're going to change and adopt those new things. And the best way to evaluate and answer the question, if you're going to do that, is to ask yourself, what's my mission? What's my why? Why am I doing this? And does that new thing complement my mission? And if it doesn't, you could easily let it go. It will help you be more decisive about what you do. It will help you let go of nonsense that you really don't need to do. I'll give you a great example. I think a lot of times people think that they have to show up on social media. They have to have this type of website. And if you're busy enough, who says you have to? Why? Why do I have to have that? Why do I need to post on Facebook? Why? If you're reaching your target audience without doing those things, that's okay. It's working for you. That's great. One less thing for you to do. You can cross that off your to-do list permanently. So yeah, asking yourself why is a great guide star to deciding whether or not to take advantage of an opportunity to add something to your to-do list, to your business, to incorporate it. Which, as you're listening to your customers and your market, you might be tempted to do. And you have to evaluate, among other things, your capacity to handle any sort of pivot in the way that you operate. But it should always begin with why. Start with why. And you can go chasing after what you think are great opportunities, but you are going to be chasing your tail and making yourself dizzy if it is off mission and confusing you, complicating things. It is a beautiful thing to stay streamlined and focused on seeking excellence and being the best at what you set out to do. So that's it. The why is so important to define, to start with, to understand your mission and the impact you'd like to have in the community, and let it guide you throughout your business and your decision making. And to understand the difference between your personal and your professional why, like the reason you're a small business owner, maybe because you couldn't stand working for anyone else. You really want to be your own boss and call the shots. You don't mind the additional headaches and responsibility, because at the end of the day, you get to own this thing that you've created, and that's a beautiful thing. So I am so excited to keep this conversation going. Thanks for listening, and tune in for the last installment of this series, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. We have one more episode left in this series, how to start your local business. Cheers.
Launch Local is an original podcast produced and recorded by Amber Artemis at Leisure Lane Studio in Jim Thorpe, PA. Show music is by Joshua Finsel. This is a video podcast available for viewing on YouTube or at the show website, launchlocal.biz, where you can subscribe to the show newsletter and find helpful tools like the Ready to Launch quiz. Take the quiz at launchlocal.biz to see if you're ready to launch your own local business.